Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something so many people with diabetes wonder about: which fruits are actually safe to eat. And even better, which ones can help you lower your blood sugar naturally, especially if you're over 50? I know there's a lot of confusion out there. Maybe you've heard someone say, don't eat any fruit at all because it's all sugar. Or maybe you've been told you can eat as much fruit as you want as long as it's fresh. The truth, like most things with diabetes, is somewhere in the middle. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the top 7 best fruits for diabetics to eat, why they're helpful, and exactly how to fit them into your diet without causing spikes in your glucose levels. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share a few bonus tips on how to enjoy fruit safely as part of your daily meals. Before we jump into the list, let's get one thing clear: not all fruit is created equal. While fruit is packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, some types have a much higher glycemic index, meaning they can raise your blood sugar much faster. Others digest slowly, offering a gentler impact on glucose. That's why picking the right fruit makes all the difference. Also, if you're over 50, your metabolism naturally slows down. Your body might process sugars and carbs more sluggishly than it did in your 30s or 40s. That's why choosing low glycemic fruits and paying attention to portions is extra important as we get older. Alright, let's get started with our first superstar fruit for people with diabetes. Number 1, berries. I'm talking about strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. These little gems are some of the absolute best choices you can make if you have diabetes. Here's why. Berries are low in carbohydrates compared to many other fruits. They're loaded with antioxidants which help fight inflammation. They have a low glycemic index, usually around 25 to 40, depending on the berry. They're also high in fiber, which slows down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream. For example, 1 cup of strawberries has only about 11 grams of carbs and 3 grams of fiber. That means you're only getting about 8 grams of net carbs in a whole cup. If you're over 50, adding berries to your breakfast is an easy way to get extra nutrients without sending your blood sugar through the roof. You can sprinkle them over Greek yogurt, blend them into a smoothie with unsweetened almond milk, or eat them plain as a snack. Number 2, apples. Next up, the classic apple. You might be surprised to see apples on this list because they do contain natural sugars. But here's the thing, when you eat a whole apple with the skin, you're getting a good dose of fiber that helps buffer the impact on your blood sugar. The glycemic index of an apple is around 36, which is considered low. Plus, apples are rich in vitamin C, potassium, and beneficial plant compounds. A medium apple has about 25 grams of carbs and around 4 grams of fiber. If you're watching your portions, you can slice the apple in half and save the rest for later. And remember, avoid fruit juice, even 100% juice, because it lacks the fiber and will spike your blood sugar much faster. A pro tip for seniors: pair your apple slices with a tablespoon of natural peanut butter or a small piece of cheese. The protein and fat help slow digestion even more. Number 3, cherries. If you love something sweet and tart, cherries can be a fantastic option. They have a glycemic index of about 20, which is one of the lowest among fruits. That means they have a very gentle effect on your blood sugar when you eat them in moderation. Cherries are also rich in antioxidants, including anthocyanins, which can help fight inflammation and may even improve insulin sensitivity over time. 1 cup of fresh cherries has about 19 grams of carbs and about 3 grams of fiber. The key here is to stick to fresh or frozen cherries without added sugar. A lot of canned cherries come packed in syrup, which you definitely want to avoid. For older adults, cherries are also great because they're soft and easy to chew, especially if you have dental issues. Number 4, pears. Pears are another underrated fruit that can fit beautifully into a diabetic-friendly diet. They have a glycemic index of about 38, which is still considered low. When you eat them with the skin on, you get a good amount of fiber, about 6 grams in a medium pear. That fiber not only helps slow down sugar absorption, but it also keeps you feeling full longer, which can be helpful if you're trying to lose weight or avoid snacking between meals. Pears are also packed with vitamin C and potassium, both of which support heart health, a big deal if you have diabetes and are concerned about cardiovascular risk. Here's a little trick. Dice up half a pear and toss it into your salad. The natural sweetness pairs perfectly with greens, nuts, and a sprinkle of feta cheese. Alright, let's pause here for a second. Before we move on to the remaining fruits on the list, I want to share a couple of quick reminders about fruit and diabetes in general. First, portion size matters. Even low glycemic fruits can raise your blood sugar if you eat huge servings. The general recommendation is about 1 small to medium piece of fruit or about 3/4 to 1 cup of fresh fruit per serving. Second, always try to eat fruit in its whole, unprocessed form. That means no juice, no dried fruit, and no fruit canned in syrup. Those forms are much more concentrated in sugar and much lower in fiber. And third, if you're ever unsure about how a particular fruit affects your blood sugar, do a little self-experiment. Check your glucose before you eat, then again about 1 to 2 hours afterward. That way you'll know exactly how your body responds. In the next part, we'll cover the last 3 fruits on our list, plus a few smart strategies to make fruit a safe, satisfying part of your daily diet. Stick around because you're going to want to hear these next tips. Welcome back. In this section, we're going to look at the last 3 fruits on our top 7 list of the best fruits for diabetics, especially if you're over 50. We'll also dig into some practical tips for including them in your meals without stressing over your blood sugar. Let's jump right in. Number 5, peaches. Peaches are one of those fruits that feel like a treat, sweet, juicy, and perfect for warm weather. And good news, they can absolutely fit into a diabetes-friendly diet when you watch your portions. The glycemic index of a fresh peach is about 42, which still falls into the low range. A medium peach has about 15 grams of carbs and about 2 grams of fiber. That makes it a much better choice than something like pineapple or mango, which are higher on the glycemic index scale. Peaches also give you vitamin C for immune support, vitamin A for eye health, potassium for healthy blood pressure. One simple way to enjoy peaches is to slice half of a fresh peach over some cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. You get protein, a little fat, and fiber all in one bowl, great for keeping your glucose steady. A word of caution, watch out for canned peaches. They're usually packed in heavy syrup that's loaded with added sugar. If you buy canned, look for versions labeled no sugar added or packed in 100% juice, then rinse them before eating to remove extra sugars. Number 6, oranges. Oranges often get a bad rap because people think they're too sweet for diabetics. But in reality, when you eat a whole orange, not juice, it's actually a fantastic choice. Here's why. A medium orange has about 15 grams of carbs and about 3 grams of fiber. The glycemic index is around 40. Oranges are packed with vitamin C, which is important for your immune system and helps keep your skin and blood vessels healthy. They also contain flavonoids, powerful plant compounds that can help lower inflammation. If you're over 50, you might already be working on maintaining strong immunity, especially during cold and flu season. Having a whole orange as part of your breakfast or a snack is a great way to get that vitamin C without spiking your blood sugar. Just remember, avoid orange juice. Even 100% juice is super concentrated and has almost no fiber. Drinking a small glass can deliver the same carbs as 2 or 3 whole oranges all at once. Here's a tip. If you want to enjoy citrus flavor without all the sugar, zest a bit of orange peel over a salad or into plain yogurt for a burst of flavor without the carbs. Number 7, kiwi. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about kiwi. This little green fruit is often overlooked, but it's a powerhouse when it comes to nutrients and blood sugar control. Kiwi has a glycemic index of around 50, which is still considered low to medium. But here's the key. A medium kiwi has only about 10 grams of carbs and about 2 grams of fiber. That means the net carbs are low, which is great for glucose management. What makes kiwi special? It's loaded with vitamin C even more than an orange. It contains vitamin K, which supports healthy blood clotting. It has antioxidants that can help fight inflammation. The fiber helps slow digestion. If you're over 50, kiwi can also support digestive health because it contains an enzyme called actinitin, which helps break down protein. That can be helpful as our digestion naturally slows with age. One easy way to enjoy kiwi is to just cut it in half and scoop out the flesh with a spoon. Or you can peel and slice it into a bowl with other low-glycemic fruits like berries and cherries for a colorful fruit salad. Alright, we've covered all 7 fruits. Let's do a quick recap before moving on to some important strategies to keep fruit as part of your daily routine. 1. Berries, low in carbs, high in fiber and antioxidants. 2. Apples, great with the skin on, especially paired with protein. 3. Cherries, very low glycemic index, naturally sweet. 4. Pears, high fiber, satisfying, heart-healthy. 5. Peaches, sweet treat when fresh and portion-controlled. 6. Oranges, whole fruit only, rich in vitamin C. 7. Kiwi, low-carb, nutrient-dense, supports digestion. Next, let's talk about practical tips for enjoying fruit safely, especially if you're managing diabetes over age 50. Tip number 1. Always measure your portions. Even lower glycemic fruits can add up if you eat big servings. Use measuring cups or a small food scale if you're just getting started. Over time, you'll be able to eyeball portions more confidently. Tip number 2. Pair fruit with protein or healthy fat. When you combine carbs with protein or fat, your body digests the sugar more slowly. For example, berries with Greek yogurt, apple slices with almond butter, pears with a handful of walnuts. This helps prevent blood sugar spikes and keeps you feeling full longer. Tip number 3. Spread your fruit throughout the day. Instead of having all your carbs in one meal, try spacing them out. For example, half a banana with breakfast, a small apple as an afternoon snack, a few berries after dinner. This keeps your glucose levels steadier. Tip number 4. Stay hydrated. Drinking water helps your kidneys flush out excess glucose and supports better digestion. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses per day unless your doctor tells you otherwise. In the final part of this video, I'll share a few more expert strategies to keep your blood sugar stable, plus some common mistakes to avoid when it comes to fruit and diabetes. Stick around, you don't want to miss this last section. Welcome back. In this last section, I want to share some expert strategies to help you make fruit part of your daily diet without feeling like you're taking a gamble with your blood sugar. We'll also talk about a few common mistakes people make and how you can avoid them. Let's start with some smart strategies you can put into practice today. Strategy number 1. Keep a food and blood sugar log. If you're not already tracking what you eat and how it affects your blood sugar, this can be a total game changer. Here's how it works. Before you eat, check your glucose. Eat your meal or snack with fruit. Check again about 1 to 2 hours later. This simple habit helps you spot patterns. You might find, for example, that a half cup of berries keeps your glucose stable, but a big banana makes it jump. Everybody is different, so the only way to know what works for your body is to test. Strategy number 2. Shop smart. When you go to the store, look for fresh fruits in season. Frozen fruits with no added sugar. Frozen berries are especially convenient. Canned fruits packed in 100% juice or water, and always rinse them. Avoid dried fruits and fruit juices. Remember, dried fruit is basically concentrated sugar. Just a handful of raisins can have as many carbs as a whole cup of grapes. And fruit juice? Even no sugar-added juice will spike your glucose faster than almost anything else. Strategy number 3. Prep portions ahead. One of the easiest ways to stay on track is to pre-portion your fruit. When you get home from the store, wash and slice your fruit. Measure into individual containers or bags. Keep them in the fridge or freezer. That way, you always have a grab-and-go option that won't surprise you with hidden carbs. Strategy number 4, focus on variety. Even though we've talked about the top 7 best fruits for diabetics, you don't need to eat the same thing every day. Mix it up to get different vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. For example, Monday, berries and yogurt. Tuesday, half an apple with peanut butter. Wednesday, pear slices in your salad. Thursday, kiwi with cottage cheese. Friday, cherries as a snack. Saturday, orange segments with breakfast. Sunday, peach slices with ricotta. This rotation keeps meals interesting and helps you stay motivated. Strategy number 5, listen to your body. As you age, your digestion, metabolism, and insulin sensitivity all change. What worked in your 40s may not work in your 60s. That's why it's so important to pay attention to how you feel after meals. If something makes you feel tired, shaky, or gives you cravings, it could be a sign that you need to tweak your portions or pair your fruit with more protein. Now, let's cover some common mistakes people make when trying to eat fruit with diabetes, especially over age 50. Mistake number 1, thinking all fruit is free food. Some folks think fruit is healthy, so I can eat as much as I want. Unfortunately, the carbs still count. Even with low glycemic fruits, portion control is key. Stick to about 15 grams of carbs per serving. That's about 1 small apple, 1 cup of berries, 1 medium peach, 1 small orange. Mistake number 2, drinking fruit smoothies without thinking. It's easy to throw a bunch of fruit in the blender and end up with a sugar bomb. If you make a smoothie, measure everything. Use lots of greens or low-carb veggies, limit fruit to half a cup, and add protein and healthy fat to slow down absorption. Mistake number 3, choosing juice over whole fruit. This one's huge. Juice, even if it's 100% fruit, digests super fast, spikes your sugar, and doesn't fill you up. Whole fruit always wins because it has fiber that helps slow digestion. Mistake number 4, ignoring labels. If you're buying canned fruit, yogurt with fruit, or frozen fruit blends, always check the label. Look for no sugar added. Less than 10 grams of sugar per serving if it's packaged. Short ingredient lists. If sugar or syrup is listed in the first few ingredients, put it back. Mistake number 5, eating fruit alone on an empty stomach. If you grab fruit as a standalone snack, it can digest faster and cause a bigger spike. It's much better to pair it with a protein or fat source. For example, apple plus cheese, berries plus nuts, kiwi plus Greek yogurt. Alright, let's wrap up with some encouragement and final tips. If you've been afraid of eating fruit because you heard it was off limits, hopefully this video gives you confidence. You don't have to avoid fruit altogether. In fact, the right fruits, eaten in the right portions, can be part of a balanced diet that supports steady blood sugar, healthy digestion, and good nutrition. Here's what to remember. Focus on low glycemic fruits like berries, cherries, apples, pears, peaches, oranges, and kiwi. Always watch your portions. Pair fruit with protein or healthy fat. Spread your carbs throughout the day instead of loading them all into one meal. Keep testing and adjusting to find what works best for you. And if you're over 50, remember, your needs might be a little different than when you were younger. Talk to your doctor or a dietitian about creating a personalized plan. Your metabolism, medications, and overall health all play a role. I hope this guide has given you some clarity and a sense of relief that you can still enjoy the sweetness of fruit without risking your blood sugar control. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Let's keep learning together, and remember, you're not alone on this journey. Small steps every day can add up to big changes in your health. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.